And thank you for joining. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And thank you for joining another edition of thank you for joining another edition of the program today. If you are joining us for the first time, this program is designed to basically address some major concern that people have as far as export is concerned. So today we are live on Facebook, we are live on TikTok, and also live on YouTube. So if you have questions, particularly those on TikTok, I've gotten so many questions on TikTok. People have asking me different questions on TikTok through DM. If you have questions, please feel free to ask your question and also share this link to people that have one or two questions they want to ask. This is Export Discourse. And the goal of the Export Discourse basically is to answer questions that individuals have as far as export business is concerned. You know, I posted a video of one of the shipments we did this week on TikTok. And quite a number of people ask a lot of questions about it. Apparently, many people are not even aware. Many people are not even aware of the opportunity available for export of Nigerian products. Many people are not aware of it. You know, so for those that are not aware, that's exactly what we're trying to do. So if you have questions, either you're on Facebook, or you're on TikTok, or you're on YouTube, please feel free to ask your question. One of the common questions I got on TikTok this week was people talking about buyers. And you know, you see this kind of question frequently when people ask about getting buyer. And that's why we are launching a pack. It's a self-study pack, a practical pack that can actually help individuals to be able to learn and master how to get buyer. Let me tell you one of the questions that someone asked me recently. Yesterday, someone chatted me and said, I need a credible and sustainable buyer. And I responded, if you are looking for sustainable buyer and someone needs to get it for you, it cannot be sustainable. It cannot be sustainable. The reason why it cannot be sustainable is because if the person got it for you, if something happened and his commission is not paid, he can talk to that buyer and stop him from buying from you. As a matter of fact, the reason why a number of people doing export business in Nigeria, particularly SMEs, have not been able to export successfully and sustainably is the fact that they think they should always depend on, rely on someone to help them get buyers. And I can understand why. The reason is because of lack of understanding. The reason is because of lack of understanding of how that is supposed to work. So if you are saying I should get a buyer, how do I go about it? If you say I should get a buyer, how do I go about it? These are very important and germane questions that people want to answer. So many people do not know how to go about it, and that is exactly the reason why. they need to ensure that they find a way to learn how to do it themselves. Kindly share this link, share the link, share the link, share the link, share with your friends, your allies, and people you believe or you know will be interested in this kind of conversation. People you believe or you know will be interested in this kind of conversation. So, if you're listening to me, feel free to drop your question. Drop your question. It's free consultation on Friday evening. It's free consultation on Friday evening. It's free consultation on Friday evening. And like I said, you can ask different questions. Another question I was asked this week was someone who is asking, how do I get buyer for Nigerian products? How do I get buyer for Nigerian products? Like I said, I've designed a compendium of solution to that question. A compendium of solution to that question. And I will show you. This is it. This is it. A compendium of answers. A compendium of answers to that question. That's the pack. That pack is basically designed to be like a Bible that provide answers to almost all the questions you will likely have to answer if you are trying to get buyer yourself. So please drop your question. Feel free to drop your question in the chat. Feel free to drop your question in the chat. Feel free to drop your question in the chat so I can provide answers to them. Feel free to drop your question in the chat so I can provide answers to them. What are your questions today? What are your questions today? From TikTok to Facebook to YouTube, you can drop your question that revolves around export. Different question, and I will answer as much as I can. Different question, and I will answer as much as I can. Feel free to drop your question. Like I said, I will answer the question as much as I can. Waiting for your question, please. Waiting for your question, please. Feel free to drop your questions. Majority of questions tends to revolve around getting buyer. If you have questions around buyers, please, you can call the number 009-124-4449. 009-124-4449, and you will be able to get responses to your questions. You'll be able to get responses to your questions. Facebook audience, I'm waiting for your questions. Facebook audience, I'm waiting for your questions. If you are just joining, this is Export Discourse, and the goal of this session is to ask any question you have as far as exporting your product is concerned. It could be on finance. If it's related to export, I'm sure I can give you an idea. If it's related to export, I'm sure I can give you an idea of what you need to do. So what is your question? What is your question? What are your concerns as far as export business is concerned? Feel free to ask me your question. I'm waiting for our Facebook audience. We tend to have more people on Facebook dropping their request for us, or question for us rather. And if you want to get a repeat broadcast, you can always check on Facebook, of course. It's always there on Facebook. You can always see it on Facebook. It's always there on Facebook. Thank you very much for joining on Facebook. Thank you very much for joining on YouTube. This is the first time we are doing TikTok. I'm hoping our TikTok audience will get to know. They can now, I think I will begin to talk about it. The fact that they can now, our TikTok audience can now ask their question easily, and they have answer to it. Go ahead and ask your question. Feel free. If I don't have the answer, I will let you know that I do not have the answer. But I'm sure to a very large extent I can help. I'm sure to a very large extent I can help. So what are your questions? What are your worries? What are your concerns that you would like me to address? What are your questions? What are your questions? What are your questions? Your question relating to export. If you are just joining us, this is Export Discourse. We discuss everything about export. Different questions that revolve around export is all we discuss. I've not gotten many questions today. Just joining us on TikTok, feel free to drop your question. What we basically discuss in this session is questions relating to your plan, your desire to grow export business. Your plan and desire to grow your export business, or to initiate, to start the business. This is our first TikTok session. This is our first TikTok section. So if you catch us today, that's good. Please feel free to drop your question. This holds every week by 5 p.m. Nigerian time. This holds every week by 5 p.m. Nigerian time. This holds every week by 5 p.m. Nigerian time. This holds every week by 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Thank you for joining Okezu Ochinonso Tunzo. Those just joining on TikTok. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for joining on. Okay, yes. We asked last week about export of palm oil. Yes, Stage Yulia Media on YouTube. Yes, what question do you have for me today? What question do you have for me today? Feel free. Drop your question, and I will be very delighted to answer your question. I'll be very delighted to answer your question. Okay, I can see some question on Facebook already. The first question says, it's quite believed that sometimes market and the seller determine price of product, but who or what actually determine price? Okay, that will take some time. I'll come back to you. Let me take the second question. Second question on Facebook said, what is the most efficient method of engaging foreign customer from Nigeria? Okay, most efficient. I don't want to, let me show you. Before you came in, I was showing the material I'm working on that will be out very soon. Let me show you. Moji, can you bring that book? This pack will soon be out. You will see 10 different ways. Inside this pack, you have this book. Inside this pack, you have this book. It's a hard copy book. Inside this pack, you have this book. It's a hard copy book. And you have another book and some other material. Now, there are different options available. There are different options available. You can come and take it. There are different options available. Now, in talking about which one is more efficient, it depends on you. For someone that doesn't know how to use internet very well, there are offline options available. Now, that kind of person, it might be more efficient for him to use the offline options. But for those that are internet savvy, they might see internet option more efficient. What I share in the book is about 10 different ways that you can get buyers, and all of them are in this pack. So that book will be in this pack alongside with other materials. People are already booking. You can get discount right now, get in the pack for pre-order, actually. So I won't be able to say one is more efficient than the other, because it depends on individuals, and there are so many options available for you to be able to do that. Good day. I always enjoy this section. The question I have is, I was asked as well, can I export broom? Of course. If you check my TikTok page, I posted broom I exported this month. The vessel just left. I think it left this week, if I'm not mistaken. The vessel just left this week. From Nigeria to the UK. If yes, can you share the necessary measure to take? No. Broom is not perishable. Broom is not food. It's very easy to export. It's not perishable. It's not food. So it's like exporting clothing. If it's not perishable, if it's not food item, no too much of. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing peculiar about it. Someone dropped a question. What happened when a bank advised a fake LC? What happened when a bank advised the question is not clear. What happened when a bank advised a fake LC? What happened? The bank that advised the LC to you is to be blamed. The bank that advised the LC to you is to be blamed. The bank that advised to be blamed. The bank is to be blamed, actually. And the bank is the one that's supposed to have been able to identify that this is a fake LC. This is a fake LC. Someone is asking, Stage Julia, are you asking which country you can export palm oil to? Is that what you're saying? Are you talking about countries that import palm oil in the world? Please confirm. Are you looking at country that export it or the country that import? I will check it up. I don't know it offhand. I know those that export it, Malaysia and Indonesia are major exporter, but for import, I will need to check. So, yes, okay, you mean import. That's from YouTube. I will get that for you now. I'm trying to check. Okay, India is a major importer of palm oil. China is a major importer of palm oil. Hold on. Let me see if I can just quickly do a check while I'm talking to you. But the major exporter of palm oil in the world are Indonesia and Malaysia. Those two countries export more than 70% of the market. And this is a over $30 billion market. And two countries control 70%. Two countries control 70%. So I will answer your question shortly. Let me do a check. On Facebook, I have a question on Facebook. The question says, yes, factors that affect price. If you are going into export, a number of factors affect your pricing. A number of factors affect your pricing if you are going into export. Some of the factors that affect your pricing is cost. Another factor is competition. Another factor is competition, cost, demand. Sometimes regulatory requirement, what is often called non-tariff barriers. Non-tariff barriers. Non-tariff barriers can be a challenge, actually. Non-tariff barrier can be a challenge. So who are the major importer of palm oil in the world? Major exporter of palm oil, Indonesia and Malaysia. Indonesia and Malaysia control 81% of the market. Stage Yul Media. Say Yul Media. But if you want to look for those importing, you can consider India, China, Pakistan. India, China, Pakistan, Netherlands, Italy, Bangladesh, Egypt, Russia, United States. Stay Yul Media. I hope I've answered your question. If you are just joining us, please, we are discussing export. If you have questions, feel free to drop your question. Okay, I can see another question on Facebook. The question on Facebook said, which country is the major importer of bitter cola? Bitter cola is not... Can you check if you can get the HS code for me? I can't do that now. I can help you check. But you can't... number one, bitter cola and cola nut are not they are no more in high demand. They used to be in high demand, actually. They are no more in high demand. So I wouldn't recommend anybody to even consider it. They are not worthy of your stress right now. They are not worthy of your stress. They are not worth your stress, if I will call it. They are not worth your stress. So I won't recommend you consider them. Please, I won't recommend you consider them. The market is no more as big as it used to be. But I can't do a check for you right now because I don't know the HS code. And it's not a very common product. So I need to get the HS code to be able to check. I can't check it like palm oil. The market size of palm oil, the market size for palm oil in the world is about 30 billion. So it's easy to do a search. I hear that there is a book or a pack on how to get buyer. How do I get it, please? The pack is currently being worked on. I just showed the book not quite long. The pack is currently being worked on. There is a pre-order going on at 20% discount. You can get the pack at 20% discount. That's 50,000 and it's 20% discount. So after the pack is ready, you might be spending about 60,000 to get it. It's a compendium of years of research. It has 2 manuals inside and quite a number of practical demonstration of how to look for these buyers online. Practical demonstration how to look for the buyers online. So the book will soon be ready, Grace. How does one navigate NSP account since you have to sell your export dollar? Good. Now, this is a very good question from Okezuo. Don't bypass NXP account. It doesn't make sense. It's like you are exporting and you are not allowing the country to have a record that this is what Nigeria exported. So you are reducing our volume. You are not helping the country. It's not nice. It's not okay at all. So here is my recommendation for you. Here's my recommendation for you. This is what you should do. Open your NXP. When your money comes in, talk to your banker. You will sell it in eye window and your banker will help you to still get value that you want to get on it. I won't be able to talk more than that. Talk to your banker can help you. Talk to your banker can help you. If your banker is not able to help you, you can call 0809-124-4449 and someone will be able to tell you what to do. But your bank can help you. I can assure you your bank can help you. So you sell the way you should sell and you still get value for your money. I can assure you of that. Those just joining us from TikTok, we started TikTok today. This program has been on for some weeks now, where we ask questions from Facebook to TikTok to YouTube. YouTube, I can see another question on YouTube. It says, I have a very strong network in Russia. Can you tell me the percentage of Russian market? Let me tell you the challenge of Russia. Don't do business with Russia right now. Please, don't do business with Russia. Russia is under heavy sanction from the US and EU. So you cannot trade in dollar and euro. You can only trade in rubles. And Nigeria does not have reserve in rubles. So you can't receive your money in rubles in Nigeria. Because Nigeria does not have reserve in rubles, you can't receive rubles in Nigeria. So please, do not trade in Russia right now. It will be difficult for you to get your payment. Do not trade in Russia right now. It will be difficult for you to get your payment. Thank you very much. Someone said, why do I need to go through the stress just to make country... No, let me explain what I mean by the record. Let me explain. You are looking for buyer. You go online to find record of countries that are importing. If the country importing do not have a record, how will you get it? How do you know this country is buying this thing and this is the volume they are buying if they also did not make the record available? If everybody is keeping their record to themselves. So it's not like you are helping not just the country, you are helping other people who want to do business with Nigeria, who want to do business with you. So it's not really about just Nigeria. It's also about the country in terms of data availability. I hope I answered Okezu's question. He said, why is there a limitation of access to my own money? It's Nigerian regulation. It's Nigerian regulation. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, it is Nigerian regulation. Not just Nigeria. Other countries have similar regulation. Okay. Julia. Okay, Julia, yes. Julia, I hope I've answered your question on the question you asked on on Russia. Please don't do business with Russia yet. It's not safe right now. Let me go back to Facebook. On Facebook, we have a question. The question says, is coal export legal in Nigeria? Of course. If you want to know products that are prohibited in Nigeria, you can check custom website. Maize is prohibited for export in Nigeria. Maize. Unprocessed rubber latex and rubber lump are prohibited for export in Nigeria. Artifacts and antiquities export are prohibited for export in Nigeria. Artifacts are prohibited. Animals classified as endangered species are prohibited. Scrap metal is prohibited. Imported item is prohibited for export in Nigeria. So coal and charcoal are not prohibited. Charcoal was prohibited before, but charcoal is no more on the list. Someone is saying on TikTok, that regulation is something that keep exports at the background. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. Very, very correct question. Comment rather. Very correct. Drop your question on Facebook. Drop your question on TikTok. Drop your question on YouTube. If you want to, please, if you are joining on Facebook, remember to follow our page on Facebook. Follow our page on Facebook, please. Follow our page on Facebook. Share the link, share the link, share the link with your friends. And your friends that want to learn about export, share the link with them. If you are joining us on YouTube, please join us on YouTube, Voice of African Trade. Like our videos, drop your comment, and remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. If you are on TikTok, share, like, and remember to drop your comment. All right. Any other question for me? Any other question for me on export? Remember this export discourse. If you are just joining us, all we do every week is discussing questions. Any issues or questions you have on export, we will be able to discuss, to answer them. Someone is asking another question on Facebook. He says, do I have to register my business as a limited liability company before I can export my product, or can I do it with business name? Very important question. Very, very important question. If you are in Nigeria and you want to export, you need to have a limited liability company. And not just limited liability company, export must be one of the objectives on the memorandum and article of association. Export must be one of the objectives on the memorandum and article of association. So you cannot export from Nigeria. You can export from Nigeria as an NGO. You can export from Nigeria as a cooperative. You can export from Nigeria as a PLC. You can export from Nigeria as a limited liability company. You cannot export from Nigeria as a business name. There is a question on TikTok. It says, what is the limitation of goods you can export in terms of money? Saint Cool, your question is not clear, please. Saint Cool, what is the limitation of goods you can export in terms of money? Saint Cool, that question is not clear. Can you modify that question? It's not clear. We'll soon be rounding off. We have just a few more minutes. If you have other questions, quickly drop it before we close. A few more minutes to round off. A few more minutes to round off. A few more minutes to round off. You can follow me on TikTok at Export Doctor. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow us on YouTube. Frank Wise, you want to join the live? Do you have a question? Frank White? Frank Wise, oh, you are gone. I wanted to add you. But you can drop your question. You don't need to come live. You can drop your question there. Oh, when you say there is regulation. Oh, yes. Regulation around what you can do with the dollar. In Nigeria, you can do anything with your dollar as long as you are not withdrawing cash. If you are withdrawing cash, that will not be allowed. But you can do any other thing with it. You can sell it, you can use it to pay for bills abroad, provide document to back it up, and you are fine. What quantity of good can I export? That depends on your money. There is no regulation on your quantity. That depends on your money. As much as you can, if you have the fund. Who is the arbiter when a bank gives fake LC, especially when the bank is denying responsibility? When you say a bank gives fake LC, are you talking about the advising bank or the issuing bank? If it's the advising bank, you might need to take the person to court. If it's the advising bank, that's the bank that gave you the LC in your country, you might need to take them to court. You might need to take them to court. Generally, bank will shy away from any form of responsibility. Generally, that's common for every bank. Why is it difficult to have access to Nigerian shipping agency? How do I get access to MSC? Oh, Yulia, this is the way you do it. Go to their website, get their email, send them a mail, they will respond. Do a reminder every day, they will respond to you. When they respond, you see the phone number of people you can call, their customer service number, then you can call that number. You see the customer service number, then you can be calling that number. But if you send a mail, they will respond to your mail. I hope I've answered your question, Yulia. Which payment guarantee method is available outside letter of credit? Standby letter of credit and demand guarantee. Demand guarantee, payment guarantee, type of demand guarantee, commercial standby under standby letter of credit. Commercial standby under standby letter of credit. All right, thank you very much, everyone, for being part of this session today. We have quite a number of people joining in and out on TikTok. Quite a number joining in and out on Facebook, and of course, a number of people also joining on YouTube. Thank you very much. We'll continue this again next week. Remember, it's every week. It's Export Discourse. So every question you have encountered in the course of your business, feel free to come and ask it every Friday by 5 p.m. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend. And bye-bye. Bye-bye.